it's quite wrong. It's as ancient as trade that these tax havens, regulation havens more correctly, have existed. When Captain Jenkins lost his ear in about 1730, it was the same problem of trading illegally with the Spanish or the Portuguese or the French. It's always been the problem. And whenever there's regulation in one country, people in that country or in another country will seek to avoid that regulation. It's nothing new, but globalization, computers have made it available to so many people worldwide. It's a facility which technology, you don't need to cut off Captain Jenkins' ear anymore. You just press the button and whiz your money wherever you want in the world. And it's a phenomenon which you've got to catch up on with the technology.
Yes, please, if you can introduce yourself
and
speak up.
Helier from the Corner House, which is a small UK NGO dealing with these sorts of issues. But I think there are four relationships. The first is that one of the reasons why banks won't lend is they don't know where all these toxic assets are actually hidden. And one of the reasons they don't know where they're hidden is that the securitized vehicles that were used to hold them are in tax havens. One. Second, one of the reasons why they used securitization was to leverage funds. The ability to leverage funds is greater if you're not paying tax on the vehicle you're using. So they put a lot of the securitized vehicles in tax havens for that reason. Third, as governments have tried to bail out banks, they've borrowed more and more. And the ways that they're going to be able to get back that money is through taxation in the future. So taxation is now a huge issue in most major democracies. It is back on the agenda in a way that it hasn't been for the last 20 years. And tax havens are therefore very much part of the problem that's got to be addressed by governments if they're to get the money in tax income to pay back what they borrow. And fourth, perhaps most important of all, the financial crisis is intimately linked to the withdrawal of the state from a lot of provision of public services and the expectation that the private sector will do it. The only way that the private sector has been able to raise the money to build roads, to run hospitals, to go into education and all these other areas that used to be matters of the state is through financial markets. The only way of coming back out of the crisis is for the state, in one form or another, to take back some of those responsibilities. That means more tax. And tax is going to rise in all major democracies, and one of the main things that governments are going to be looking to is making certain that they get money that is presently being siphoned out of the system through tax havens. So tax havens are going to be on the agenda, like it or not. Yeah. And that is the intimate connection, in my view.
The gentleman here, if you can introduce yourself, please.
Yeah, Harry Randall from Jersey Evening Post. Harry Randall from Jersey Evening Post. I just ask, I take it all the comments that you make this evening are applicable to Switzerland, Monaco, Andorra, Liechtenstein, and all those other European countries, the same in the US Virgin Islands and all the rest of it around the island. So can I ask you why you're in Jersey rather than one of those places? Is that because we're more open?
You have to start somewhere.
We had to start somewhere. We cannot be in every place at the same time. But there are some reactions on that. Are you going to react straight on that? Yes?
Yes, my name is Andreas Misbach. I'm from Bern Decoration and I'm from Switzerland. And of course, the Tax Justice Network has always acted on a systemic level. We never singled out one single jurisdiction that is the problem. But if you look at Switzerland in particular, 1/4 of the banking deposits in Jersey is coming from Switzerland. It's coming in the statistic from European non-EU, but that's basically Switzerland. And the bulk of that are deposits that are here to circumvent the withholding tax in Switzerland. And UBS, the biggest private bank that does a lot of offshore private banking in Switzerland, runs more than 50 vehicles in Jersey. So there is an intimate link, actually. the banks that are playing the offshore system, they are using all kinds of different jurisdictions. Even a Swiss bank that does a lot of offshore private banking in Switzerland uses Jersey to circumvent Swiss withholding tax and do other things. And that's the reason why we actually are calling for a systemic solution to the problem that goes after all the tax havens, and the single most important measure to that is automatic information exchange.